For you today, I'm Stacy Spivey alongside Lauren Coleman, Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley, and Jalen Gilkey reporting out live today.
Yes, thank you for joining us right here on WFNY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFNY News 2 app. And remember, we are live on Facebook, so make sure you give us a shout in the comments because we have a lot to talk about today.
And today, the High Point Rockers have their home opener. Jalen's live at Truist Point Stadium right now. Plus, today's the first day of High Point City's social district. But first, we've got some developing news on our top story. One of the men convicted of killing NBA star Chris Paul's grandfather testified in court. He's one of 4 men seeking exoneration and an innocence hearing.
Nearly 20 years ago, Nathaniel Jones was found beaten to death outside his Winston-Salem home. In 2020, a key witness recanted her testimony, which prompted this week's innocence hearing. Jamal Tolliver was 15 when he was arrested. He was convicted of second-degree murder in Jones's death, served time, and has since been released.
Today, he testified he had nothing to do with Jones's killing and only confessed because he thought it was what police wanted to hear.
When they came back in, did they start again to explain to you why they were talking to you?
Yeah, they started talking about the same thing. And then they asked me who I hung with. I told them. Next thing you know, my friends were down there too.
And did they ask you whether you had anything to do with it again?
Yes.
And what did you say?
No.
And what did they say?
They didn't believe me.
The state has yet to call their own witnesses, but continue to argue the correct suspects were convicted. Today's hearing is still going on. We'll bring you more updates tonight at 5 and 6.
Now let's get to some big news happening in the Furniture City. The city's new social district opened today, which means folks can now drink alcoholic beverages outside of certain businesses. The Catalyst Social District is located near the Congdon Yards area and Truist Point Stadium. Right now, there's only a few businesses participating, but more are expected to come.
This is kind of a soft opening for us for the social districts. We're getting businesses registered to sign up to be part of it. Some have already got their paperwork in. Some we're still working with to get their paperwork in so we can get them part of the social district relatively quickly.
Keep in mind the designated area includes parts of Church Street, Elm Street, and English Road, but not Main Street. The concept of social districts is fairly new to the Triad. Downtown Greensboro just opened its district last month. Winston-Salem officials say they're still working on a proposal for theirs.
Very exciting because High Point Social District opened just in time for the Rockers home opener.
That's right. Baseball is back and it's going down tonight at Truist Point Stadium. And our Jalen Gilkey is live there now. And I hear he's got a special guest with him.
That's absolutely right, Stacey. I do have a special guest. I'm joined by the 3rd-year manager for the High Point Rockers. And sir, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
Jamie Keefe. I'm, this is my 3rd year here, fourth season overall. Obviously, we didn't play in 2020, but happy to be back here on opening day. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. So, what does it mean to you, and how does it feel to be back here at Truist Point in this beautiful stadium on opening day?
It doesn't get any better. You work these 6 months. You put 6 months in and trying to get this roster together, and then you get it here, and you have 10 days to cut it down. We cut it down to the best 27 we thought was going to help us win, and couldn't be happier to be here on opening night.
Now, last season was a very successful season, second best record in the league, but unfortunately, due to some technicalities, we're snubbed out of a playoff spot. How do we build off of last season to make sure we get a playoff berth this year?
Well, I think the big thing is just go out there and win series, especially early in the season. Right now, we're playing 30 of our first 38 at home, so getting off to a hot start's really big for us. Having to spend the second half of the season on the road as much as we will, it's not the way you want to win. So we got to go out there and try to win the first half this year. Got a great ball club here, with a lot of guys that have the ability to get back to the next level, and hopefully we're able to move some of those guys to do that this year. But right now we're all about what's going to happen at 6:35 tonight, and can't wait to strap it on.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you joining us and appreciate your time today. You heard it here first. The first 30 out of 38 games are right here at Truist Point Stadium, and tonight first pitch is at 6:35. So make your way on out to High Point and enjoy the game.
Jalen, thank you. The push to get people out around the triad comes amid increased coronavirus concerns. Right now, we're seeing a slight uptick in COVID hospitalizations in our state. The number has risen consecutively over the last 4 days, a trend that we haven't seen in months. Today, Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist Dr. Ohl discussed the latest metrics and encouraged people to think about their surroundings when deciding whether to mask up or not.
Transportation, where we're all kind of sardines in an airplane or a bus or a train or a subway, is a place where people are closer together and viral transmission's more likely, and so masking is more important in those situations.
Right now, the federal rule mandating people to wear masks while using public transportation isn't active, but that could soon change. The Department of Justice says it is appealing the federal judge's decision that ended the rule. The CDC made the request because it says the mask requirement is both lawful and necessary for public health. The agency says it's too soon to ditch masks because there's so many travelers who are immunocompromised or too young to get vaccinated. New polling finds more than half of Americans support mask requirements for travel. Plus, studies say buses are considered the most dangerous for spread of viruses, followed by trains.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Right now, we are working to learn more about the murder of a Davie County family. The Sheriff's Department says 26-year-old Ashold Ewing Meeks killed his girlfriend, their 2 children, and set the house on fire before turning the gun on himself. Hours before this incident, deputies say the family walked into their office. Right now, you're looking at surveillance of the man talking to a deputy about getting a concealed carry permit. Later, crews responded to a fire at the house where they found the family's bodies. Investigators say the gun was still in the man's hand when they found their bodies. And the new at 4, the North Carolina Zoo says it's closing its aviary permanently. It says the cost of necessary repairs due to high humidity and wet conditions just got to be too much. The 40-year-old exhibit has been closed since January because of threats of avian flu. The building will be removed and all birds will either be rehomed or moved to other parts of the zoo. Officials say no employees are losing their jobs, but some may need to be re-signed.
Now let's switch gears and get a look at the forecast. Tim, when I was outside earlier, I was enjoying all the warmth.
Yeah, Stacy, it's kind of hard to get better than this, right? You have sunshine, low humidity, and right around 70 degrees. So whether you're out and about for a little walk, a lunch outside, dinner outside, I think you're in pretty good shape. A lot of sunshine, but there are a couple of clouds that we find right now across the Piedmont. It's kind of a dying weather system. We never mentioned a chance for rain because kind of knew it wouldn't right now. We're just looking at scattered cloud cover overhead, no big deal. Now, going forward in the next couple of days, dry weather is just going to win. We're not seeing anything come close to us. There are weather systems, but the way that it's working right now in the east is we have high pressure. So it's kind of all getting deflected, whether it's to our north or to our east. We're not seeing it make its way into the Piedmont. So we will continue this dry trend for several more days, and each day is just going to get a little bit warmer. That's kind of the way we've been doing it. For tonight, temperatures are really comfortable right now, around 70. We'll slowly be cooling off, so around 60 by 11. It's a warmer evening than we've had, and then early tomorrow we're in more like the 50s. Your overnight lows are not bad, right around 50 degrees for the most part. So you don't have to worry about covering plants or anything like that. Tomorrow's a good one. How about this for a Friday? Right around 50 in the morning, close to 80 for the afternoon. So yes, it's getting warmer. Don't worry, it's not muggy, it's not super summer heat or anything like that. It's just a pleasantly warm day. Good weather for this kind of stuff, right? The Rockers, as Jalen was telling you, they got their first game over in High Point for the season. First pitch temperature should be right around 67. And you can say the same thing in Greensboro. The Hoppers are home for a Thursday. That's always a good thing. Nice weather for baseball. And look how long we keep the nice weather too. Most of the forecast will cool off a little bit next week. You're watching the 4 to 5.
Imagine getting a surprise phone call from one of your favorite celebrities. That's what happened to a Winston-Salem mother when she received a surprise phone call on Tuesday from Duke's former head basketball coach, Coach K. Lauren Ramirez gave birth to her daughter Izzy 6 weeks early on January 14th at Forsyth Medical Center. Due to a heart defect and a genetic disorder, Izzy was life-flighted to Duke Hospital that same day. She spent 3 months at Duke undergoing surgery and different medical procedures. As the family prepared to take Izzy home from Duke Hospital, they received a special phone call.
And we talked for 10 minutes on the phone, and he congratulated me on our daughter, and we discussed how wonderful of a facility that Duke Hospital is, and just talked about parenthood and prayed together a little bit, and he wished us well. And it was not only on the day that my daughter was coming home from the hospital, that is already a banner day in and of itself, but then for Coach K to call really made it a day that I will never be able to forget.
Ramirez says she's been a hardcore Duke fan since she was in middle school. She says her family reached out to Coach K's team to set up the surprise phone call.
Watched games in the hospital and everything, of course. And so it was just it was a nice thing to distract ourselves with in some of the harder days, was getting to watch basketball. So.
Says she and her daughter Izzy are doing well and settling in at home. Isn't that just fantastic?
I love that. That just goes to show, like, he really is an amazing person. Not just he was an amazing coach that has all these awards and accolades and everything, but like what really matters, him as a person, he's a good person.
And taking the time out for this family who he's never met. I know that she said it was her dad, her mother-in-law, and her sister-in-law reached out and they were trying to set up an in-person surprise visit, but due to his schedule they were able to set up this 10-minute phone call, which it sounds like they really connected in that moment.
I think even Heels fans would say that's a pretty nice thing to do, right? Good job by Coach K there.
Yeah, and I mean, my daughter, she was only in the NICU for, I think, 3 days, and that was hard on me. I cannot imagine what this mom went through. So just having someone, recognize the fact that you're doing a great job as a mom and just talk to you about it and say something to you like that, I think
it's got to lift your spirits.
Yeah,
right?
it goes a long way.
I'm glad they've made it home and they're doing well, and I'm excited to see what's next, what happens for Izzy. She's special. So I did ask you on my Facebook page, what celebrity would you want to receive a surprise phone call from? And a lot of you responded to that post. Sherry Lunsford says Denzel Washington, Angela Bassett, the Obamas. Brenda Dominguez says Denzel Washington or Viola Davis. There were a lot of Denzel Washingtons on my page. Marcy Pilcher says Oprah, you get a house. Curtis Allred wrote Taylor Swift, Miranda and Carrie Underwood. Wanda Harkins says the president or VP to be invited as an honored guest or special guest at an event or the State of the Union. Yeah, there were a lot of Denzels and Angela Bassett. I mean, I was like, I'm trying to find somebody else. I guess we all like Denzel.
Good
I mean, it
choices.
is Denzel Washington, so.
Where are you going to go with this? Who would be your celebrity?
I mean, is this even a question for me?
Is it like Harry Styles or
Well,
something?
obviously.
Justin Bieber?
No, it's Harry Styles. Even my husband knows, that I love Harry Styles. He gave me a calendar, a Harry Styles calendar.
Oh yeah, you do have that on your desk.
Yeah, my husband gave that to me. So if I got a phone call from Harry Styles, I don't know if I'd pass out, if I would just pass away, or what I would do.
Hopefully he's listening to our broadcast, so you might get that special phone call.
Call me.
I don't know.
I'll give you my number.
What would you talk about though? What would you say?
She would be passed out. She wouldn't be able to say anything.
I wouldn't have the words. I would just be like, I love you.
What about you, Tim?
I think I would probably go sports with this. I'm not huge with celebrity gossip or news, or I honestly just don't know what I would say to a famous person. Like, hi, how was your day? What'd you have for lunch?
How did you find me? That would be my first question.
Are you a scammer? I'd probably go Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Maybe Derek Jeter, who I was a huge fan of when I was a kid.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Childhood dreams come true.
Thank him for winning, because the Yankees don't win anymore.
Yeah, it was hard for me to think of a person because there's so many people that I like or look up to. But I would probably go with Michelle Obama or Oprah. Because being a person in news, Oprah was someone who I aspired to be like. And Michelle, she's just black girl magic. She's smart. She's intelligent. She's just doing it. So hopefully you guys are listening to me and can give me a phone call.
Yeah, maybe all three of our people will call us.
Someone in news. That's a good choice. I could do Jim Cantore.
Yeah.
Hey, you got a job for me? Storm chasing.
We'll be right back.
comfortable and cozy. That's the theme of our Thursday, and just kind of get used to this, kind of enjoy this nice stretch of weather, because as you know, it doesn't always work out that way. In my book, any week in the month of April we can go through without a severe thunderstorm threat, that's a good one. We want to keep having more of those because it can be a really bad time of year for our weather. Right now, low 70s, upper 60s, just very comfortable. It's like the temperature you set your house thermostat at. We like when it's like that. Saves us some money. Near 80 in parts of the Piedmont and the Sandhills, but we're a little cooler. More heat is building in the southern part of the U.S. right now. In fact, there's big heat over here, and that is where you find a little bit of a storm threat today. We're not seeing that. There's that little cold front to the north of us. It'll miss us, just kind of sliding north of our area, so no cool down. In fact, we're going to continue to warm up a little bit. I expect us to get right around 80 for tomorrow afternoon. A little cooler as you go up toward DC and New York, but our area will stay warm and only getting warmer through the weekend. Take a look at Saturday. Into the low 80s we go. That is a trend we'll follow. This is the jet stream. Notice how it's really ridging above us. That opens up the door to all sorts of warmth. We'll keep that around through Monday of next week. So above average after being below average for a while. Just 51 tonight, not all that cold, everybody. And then tomorrow, we'll call it right around 80 for your high temperature in the afternoon. No threat for rain. It's a good Friday to get outside. As far as the 7-day, next chance for rain will only be some scattered showers. That'll be on Tuesday with a cold front that cools us down.
Today, Coach Lamont has a powerful word about the words you allow to come out of your mouth. Listen as he explains how what you can say or what you say can determine what you do.
The power of the spoken word is one of life's greatest mysteries. The condition of your life is determined by the words you say and you don't say. It is a fact if you were to look at the condition of a person's life, successful or unsuccessful, after evaluating their daily habits and goals, next you must investigate what is being spoken. There is, however, a unique characteristic associated with every word. See, words are emotionalist. They're obedient and non-discriminating. Words are our greatest servants. They're anxious to obey their master, willing to bring into our lives whatsoever we speak. What this means is every word you release from your mouth is inevitably going to become a part of your life. Now, keeping this in mind, what new rules will you allow to govern your mouth? It's just a thought. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Our mics are up. Hey, everybody. Hey, Facebook. How's it going?
Hey.
Party over here and a party over there.
Let's see, what can we talk about? What are we going to do this weekend? It's going to be so nice outside.
Oh, she's in the, Lauren. Hi, Lori.
Oh, hi. That story, I loved it. It's just so amazing how he called her.
I think so too. I'm glad it was able to work out and just, I think that that's so personable that
really
was able
is.
to happen.
Yeah. I mean, to be in the NICU for that long, it's so hard for moms, for families,
everyone there.
And especially during COVID when, you know, you're limited visitation and everything. I can't imagine. So just being acknowledged by someone that you look up to and that you admire.
Yeah, I know, and I know Lauren, she was saying that they were able to watch Coach K's final games from the hospital. And even though it was like a tough time, you know, that was something that they were able to do as a family. And so I just think that that's really awesome that he made that call. And she also, you'll hear this sound at 6, but he said something like he tells his players to be strong like their mothers, because mothers are strong and resilient. Something along those lines. I love that.
I hope he's enjoying retirement. I'm sure he's
playing some golf.
I'm sure he's doing a lot still. I mean, he's got a puppy, so I'm sure he's not getting much sleep. So, we are talking about birthdays. Does anyone have a birthday coming up?
Oh, I just had a birthday. Well, we both just had birthdays not too long ago.
Oh, Facebook, we're going. We'll see you in a little bit. Happy birthday to you.
Today, Queen Elizabeth is celebrating her 96th birthday, and she's taking it by the reins. Take a closer look at this majestic moment taken on the grounds of the Windsor Castle. You can see here the Queen standing proudly between her two favorite ponies, and plus that the fabulous dark green cape-style coat she's wearing here, just giving glory and wealth. Those ponies are beautiful.
Yeah.
So in honor of her special day, Barbie is getting the royal treatment. Toy maker Mattel released a doll in the Queen's likeness. The doll's regal ensemble includes an ivory gown, a blue ribbon with decorations of order, a crown, and matching accessories. That's a nice one.
I need to get that. In honor of the Queen's birthday, I asked you on my Facebook page to tell me about your favorite birthday memory. Jerry says, 10th birthday, got my Red Ryder BB gun. Robert says, good friends invited me over on my 60th birthday, had a birthday cake and new car for me. The car was a Matchbox car. Made my day. Joy remembers celebrating her 40th birthday and going to the Biltmore house to see the Christmas trees. Oh, I still want to do that. Teresa writes, for my 40th birthday, my son and daughter threw me a surprise party with friends and family. I'll never forget it. Best birthday I've ever had. Vivian says, for my 30th, I got to fly a small Cessna. That's cool. Rick says, 5th birthday, my mom took some friends and I to the fire station in Marion, Ohio.
Nice. I wonder if he's a fireman now.
I don't know. I'll have to find out. It's funny how like some of those birthdays when you're little, they just stand out because they were just like such a big deal growing up, you know. You had a birthday party and all your friends came over and everything. I think my favorite, I'm trying to think. I loved my 25th birthday. My life was so different then. Like I wasn't married and I didn't have a baby, which this year's birthday was special because it was my first one with Baylor. But every single one of my friends came to Little Rock where I was living and celebrated with me. And it was just so special to have like every single one of my closest group of friends there.
The people who know you most.
Right. That meant the world to me.
Going back to what you said about the younger birthdays, I actually was just having this conversation earlier today. So one of my most memorable birthdays was my 5-year-old birthday. We were living in Fort Leavenworth at the time, and my parents rented out the dance studio that I went to and invited everybody in my preschool class, and we had Pin the Tail on the Donkey, we had face painting, pizza, I got a bicycle. I remember it was blue with like purple streamers and everything like that. But those little parties are the ones that you really remember, because I feel like parents tend to go all out when the kids are like really young. So that's one I would remember.
It's hard to compete with everyone these days. I'm already planning Baylor's first birthday and I'm stressed about it, but
about to break what
break the bank?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep those receipts hidden somewhere so the hubby doesn't see them. No, he'll see them. Well, join the conversation on Facebook. We'll be back with more of the 4 to 5 right after this.
Break. Spray some video. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is our stream frozen?
I don't know. It's like black. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Hey there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'll count in cheerleading. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's such a delay. I wonder when it's going to show up. Well, welcome back, everybody. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Stacy Spivey, and we have the pleasure of having Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with us
I
today.
need to introduce y'all like that. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
I mean, you're a big deal.
Well,
Yeah, should we curtsy?
it's nice to be with y'all.
In honor of the Queen's birthday.
Just for the Queen, yes. Only the Queen.
Right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in right here to WFMY News 2, Fire Stick, Roku, and the News 2 app for your TV, phone, or tablet. If you're joining us on Facebook, be sure to give a shout out in the comments.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump right into one of our top stories. A Greensboro mayoral debate is starting in just a few hours.
The debate will be held at the International Civil Rights Center and Museum and will be moderated by Triad socialite BDAT.
BDAT is known for his community activism and was a radio host for 102 Jams. It kicks off at 6:30. Current Mayor Nancy Vaughn, Justin Outling, and Mark Cummings and Eric Roberts will be present. The debate is open to the public, but if you can't make it, don't worry. We will be streaming it on WFMYnews2.com. In order to have your say in who becomes the next mayor of Greensboro, you must be registered to vote, and the deadline to register is tomorrow. You can check your voter status on our website, WFMYnews2.com. Just search Election 2022.
Today, President Joe Biden announced another round of military funding for Ukraine as they try to fight off Russia's invasion. On the ground, defenders say they are close to falling as only a few citizens were able to evacuate Wednesday before the humanitarian corridor broke down. Ukrainians say they need better relief after hiding through a month of shelling from Russian forces. Meanwhile, Moscow tested a new type of an intercontinental ballistic missile as Putin warned adversaries to think twice before threatening Russia. The Biden administration is also tackling what it calls historical failures in the federal student loan programs. Right now, more than 40 million Americans owe more than $1 trillion in student debt loans. And this week, the Department of Education announced fixes to the system that could bring relief or even immediate forgiveness to millions of borrowers.
History of this program is that it has been rife with abuses and problems, both on the servicing side and on the Department of Education side.
Right now, the DOE is reviewing payment timelines and history for specific borrowers. Those changes will impact about 40,000 people and offers 3 years of additional credit to those with income-based repayment plans.
I mean, I think this is a great thing. What about you?
Well, my husband has a lot of student loans. I'm very grateful that I don't have any, but there's so many people. I mean, I know people that are older than us that are still paying off student loans. It seems
like
to hear the amount.
You're going to go to the grave with them. For some
Right,
people, I've
a
heard
lot of
that
people
as a saying. And I'm blessed not to have too many. But I think about people who, they went to school, they spent all this money, they're working a job that is beneficial to society, but they don't make like a living wage or enough to live, and yet they have thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in debt.
Yeah.
So anything that can help, I think, is a good thing.
I think so too. I mean, people are struggling right now. We talk about it every day with inflation and everything that's been going on in the past 2 years. And I just feel like a lot of people do need some relief.
It'll be interesting what happens with all these extensions that we've been having, because it's almost been about 2 years now since it's been mandatory to pay back some of these loans. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on what happens next with that.
And of course, we will keep you updated and let you know anything that happens.
Well, let's get into your 4 to 5 roundup. Right now, we are working to learn more about the murder of a Davie County family. The Sheriff's Department says 26-year-old Ashad Ewing Meeks killed his girlfriend, their 2 children, and set the house on fire before turning the gun on himself. Hours before the incident, deputies say the family walked into their office. Here's surveillance video of the man talking to a deputy about getting a concealed carry permit. Later, crews responded to a fire at the house where they found the family's bodies. Investigators say the gun was still in the man's hand when they found him. Today is the 4th day of the hearings in the Innocence trial for a group of men accused of killing NBA All-Star Chris Paul's grandfather. The men are known as the Winston-Salem 5, and they say they are innocent. Nearly 20 years ago, Nathaniel Jones was found beaten to death outside his Winston-Salem home. In 2020, a key witness recanted her testimony, which prompted this week's Innocence hearings. Today, lawyers played clips of the men's initial interrogation clips. We also heard from one of the men convicted himself. Arguments and testimony, they are still happening in court right now. We'll have more on the hearings coming up tonight at 5. Well, the city's new social district opened today, which means folks can now drink alcoholic beverages outside of certain businesses. The Catalyst Social District is located near the Congdon Yards area in Truist Point Stadium. Right now, there's only a few businesses participating, but more are expected to come. It's also opening day for the High Point Rockers, which is another big draw. So if you're out in the area, plan on traffic. Get ready for some traffic in Alamance County starting today. Durham Street Extension is scheduled to close for about 6 months. That's the area just south of the Routh Road near Elon. Drivers will be detoured along the area from Upsey Road to Routh Road during this closure. Well, Tim, the weather was so nice, I actually got up a little early this morning and went for a brisk walk in my neighborhood.
Oh, how
and I'm
about
glad.
that? Really comfortable for that, that's for sure, Lauren. You know, cozy temperatures for the morning, for the afternoon. In fact, right now we're above the 70-degree mark in High Point. Low humidity, sunshine, 70s, just kind of hard to beat it, right? Calm winds as well. It's not one of those really breezy days that we've seen a lot of in the spring season, and there's no storm, so we're in pretty good shape here. Upper 60s to low 70s, as I mentioned. There have been varying degrees of clouds, so it hasn't been totally sunny all day long. Some cloud cover from time to time, but that's about it. It's also not humid. Our dew point right now is in the upper 40s and low 50s, which means there's just not a lot of water in the air, so your body has an easy time cooling off if you're doing yard work or things like that. There was a little bit of a weather system, but it's really just kind of fizzled out. We're not expecting any rain, just those scattered clouds, as I mentioned, for the rest of this evening. Overnight lows will not be cold. Last night we were in the 40s, the night before in the 30s. We're only going down to around 50, 52 for tonight. So it's not really as chilly. And we warm up tomorrow afternoon, a bit more of a wind coming in out of the south. We have a good shot to get close to 80 degrees. And for the weekend, kind of hard to beat this, right? 81 both days. Overnight lows will be in the 50s. If you don't like it too hot too soon, I get it. I feel you. But it's not going to be that humid, so we're actually going to be fairly comfortable for this weekend. Now by Monday, right around 84 or so, that might be pushing the limit, but we'll cool off. There's lots of variety here. A line of showers brings in cooler air. That's your Tuesday. We'll be only in the 60s for highs on your Wednesday with overnight lows in the 40s, but I'm not expecting any frosty mornings really for the rest of spring.
The warm weather is back just in time for the expansion of popular kid camps.
Safety Town, Greensboro, has been running at the Lewis Recreation Center for more than 40 years, and this year, organizers are opening a second location at Barber Park.
Corporal Sherry Burchino with the Greensboro Police Department says the new location will give 5- and 6-year-olds on the city's east side equal access to unique training opportunity. The second location will also give more elementary-age children the chance to attend the camp since it was on hold during the pandemic.
We're ready to get back to full scale. Last year we had about half the amount of kids that we could handle. So each summer we service, this year we're having 8 sessions, so hopefully 600 to 800 kids. So it'll be nice to get everybody back.
Safety Town is a pint-sized, lifelike town that teaches children every component of safety. Campers learn from Greensboro police officers with special visits from the fire department and other first responders on how to stay safe at home, in their neighborhood, and at school.
The main thing about Safety Town, it teaches all aspects of safety. It teaches everything from poison control, traffic, trains, how to negotiate life as a 5- or 6-year-old. But really, the children get to spend a lot of time with the police officers. They form a bond with the officers that are here, and so that's really the good takeaway for it.
Safety Town is a 2-hour-a-day, 2-week program that costs $40 a child. There are 8 sessions at 2 different sites this year with capacity around 100 students per class.
Morning and afternoon sessions begin in June, but don't wait. You can sign up your 5- or 6-year-old child for Safety Town right now. Due to the past issue with COVID, organizers are also allowing 7-year-olds to attend this year only. We did put a link on the Good Morning Show section of WFNYnews2.com.
Okay, I've always seen this and I did not know what it was. I thought it was so cute with the little homes and things like the little town, but I didn't realize that it was for this purpose until the story today. And I think that is so creative and such a great help for little kids to kind of put things in their perspective of things that you need to know.
I think it's really beneficial to learn something like this at such a young age. And so when you get older, some of them might want to run for mayor, or be police, or work for the fire department and different things of that nature. And it just looks so cute, like you said, and it's outside, it's summertime. I'm glad that with COVID restrictions loosening that they're able to do this again. Have you ever had any summer camps that you went to as a kid?
Yes, I did. I went to a few growing up. The school district where I'm from does a kind of something similar to this, but you kind of pick the classes you want to take, and there's science classes and there's safety classes or whatever, and that was so much fun for me growing up to be able to do that. And I know my mom appreciated it because it was also childcare.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I was in camp like every summer, whether it was for sports or the arts. I did drama camp. I went to like an arts and crafts camp. I did track during the summer. But my favorite experience would have to be governor school. I was in high school at the time, but I went for theater, and that was like the best. I mean, just imagine doing your passion with a bunch of kids around the state. We would be out late at night playing guitar, singing, different things like that. It was a good time.
Yeah, they're always wonderful experiences for kids. So if you're interested in signing your kids up, of course, we have the information on our website. We'll be right back after this break.
Join us on Facebook. It's kind of quiet up there.
Milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. Surprises you with a party because it's your birthday and you love it. And then this is you on your birthday. Please, no party, no attention. Which one best describes you? Hey, throw me a party, or no thanks?
I'm always nervous, like no one will remember.
Yeah.
Like I'll walk in and be smiling like, hey
it's my
guys.
birthday.
And no one remembers it's my birthday. You didn't see it on Facebook.
Oh my gosh.
Shouldn't you tell me something?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you have something for me? Right?
Yeah, definitely. I want the confetti.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
You don't mind if everybody yells it from across the room at your birthday, all that kind of jazz?
I love it.
She loves it. Okay.
Take it all in.
Do you know people, though, who are like, please don't do anything for my birthday?
My husband.
Really?
I
He's
mean,
like, no thanks.
He's like, I'm good. I'm like, what do you want? I don't need anything. Like, he's one of those people.
My parents are kind of like that too. They're like, you don't need to buy me anything, you know, just give me a card, say hello. But if you do get them something, they're always super appreciative of it.
So you can understand that if people are like, well, maybe I really don't want any hoopla or
Yeah.
whatever. All right. Well, just recently, a man was awarded $450,000. $450,000. Wrap your mind around that. Okay. For an unwanted birthday party at work. Let me explain what happened. Here we go. The lawsuit details that the office manager said he forgot the worker's request to not have an office birthday party for him. The party triggered a panic attack for the worker, and he left and spent much of his lunch hour in his car. Then his bosses held another meeting about the incident, triggering yet another panic attack.
They started giving him a pretty hard time for his response to the birthday celebration, actually accusing him of stealing his coworker's joy.
But wait, there's more. The manager then fired the worker, claiming he was worried that the coworker was going to be angry and possibly become violent and come back to work. Well, the jury sided with the worker and awarded him $450,000 in damages, including $300,000 for mental anguish.
It was a big step for someone that doesn't like that type of attention to stand up in front of 12 jurors and stand up for himself.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I cannot even imagine something like this happening.
Wow. Yeah, I'm watching this like, this really happened?
This really happened.
But,
and then the response from the office, from the managers, just seems like way out of like left field, like, hey, you're not being aware of what's happening here.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
Yeah,
awful, isn't
just
it?
like, I feel so bad for everyone involved, but like, but he got $450,000.
All right, so the rule of the thing is, if someone says, really, I don't want you doing anything for my birthday, don't do anything for your birthday.
You might owe them $450K.
You might owe them $450,000. Crazy story. We're taking a break on that.
That is wild. No idea.
Tomorrow is Earth Day, and all week we've highlighted different ways to protect the environment.
We've talked about using your lawn to encourage pollination, the Boy Scouts working to save coral reefs, and businesses promising to go green.
All these methods are options we can do while we're alive, but did you know that there are ways to save the planet after you die? Think about it.
She was very strong and put up a really good fight.
Donna Augusto lost her mother to bladder cancer last April.
I knew that she wanted to be cremated and have some of her remains spread with my father's remains.
Instead of a traditional cremation, Donna decided to go with an eco-friendly water cremation, or aquamation. It combines warm water in an alkali solution to decompose the body.
It does not put any emissions into the air.
Phil Berrick is the president of White Rose Aqua Cremation in Escondido, California. He says water cremation uses 90% less energy than flame cremation.
How do people get ashes from this process?
At the end of this process, you still have the bones. The bones are then run through a processing machine that basically turns it into a very fine powder.
Aquamation is just one approach to environmentally friendly burials. Some people want to give directly to the earth by turning their body into compost.
What body composting is a managed biological process that occurs inside of a vessel.
Seth Vidal is the manager of the Natural Funeral in Lafayette, Colorado. Colorado, Oregon, and Washington are the 3 states where body composting is legal. The funeral home built a chrysalis composting vessel that turns remains into soil.
And inside that vessel, we place wood chips, alfalfa, straw, and then a microbial brew of both bacteria and fungal agents. And over the course of about 4 to 6 months, the body, along with those other organic bulking agents, are converted into a beautiful, rich, living soil.
The soil is then given to the family or donated to sanctioned farms. Vidal says most of his clients want to give back to the earth as their final act, a way to protect the environment after life. Danya Backus, CBS News, Escondido, California.
Very, very interesting. That was something I hadn't really put a lot of thought into.
Lots of things, that we've been talking about throughout the week that just kind of make you think in different ways about Earth Day. And I think nowadays a lot of people actually are really appreciative of nature. I hear people all the time talking about, the best thing about living here is the nature and different parks, and people love going outside.
I love being outside. I love hiking. I love going to like Gatlinburg and different places like that and walking different trails. So I'm appreciative of all that our Earth has to offer.
Yeah, I'm not the most outdoorsy gal, if you hadn't figured that out yet, but just watching the story made me think of something I had seen before, how there's an option when you die to be able to be put into a pod that becomes a tree. And I think that that's really neat. I mean, I think whatever way that you want to go is your business, but I do think it's a great idea to try to come up with ways that are not just like hurting the environment. Something that can help the environment is good.
The pod into the tree can also serve as like a memory tree.
Exactly.
So if you were to plant someone like your family and stuff, this could be the tree that we come to. So I think that's a pretty good idea.
I think the soil stuff is interesting. Is that the way that maybe I want to go? Maybe not, but I think it's a great idea.
Got to be everybody's choice. It's kind of like the Lion King. They talk about the circle of life in there, and they're like, hey, we eat the antelope, and then he's like, well, the antelope eat us because we turn into the grass, and then the antelope
it really
eat the grass.
It's
there
a circle.
You go. It's all a circle.
Should we sing?
The circle life. I think we could do 30 seconds, right? All right.
Our producers say break. Just stop.
Bye. See you.
planning day?
Because I kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Because you guys both got.
Hello, mic check, everybody. 1, 2, 3.
That day to do sweet stuff.
Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee.
Hey, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Check, check, check. Mic check. Hello, Callie. 109876543321.
1998. What a beautiful day it is for a season opener here at Truist Point in downtown.
How do you respond when someone asks, "How's it going?" or "How are you today?" We all have a canned response to that question, a response that just comes out of our mouth without a thought, a response that we've been saying for years, sometimes multiple times a day. Popular answers include, "I'm doing good," "doing well," or my favorite response I often hear, "living the dream." I want to talk about that last one. It's almost always sarcastic. The person doesn't actually think they're living the dream. Oftentimes, it's quite the opposite. Why is it that we say something that's often not true when asked how we're doing? Is it because the real answer might come as a shock to the person who asked? Or are we looking to brush off the small talk? On the flip side, do you really want someone to tell you how they're actually doing? A lot of people are going through things that might be really heavy to others, and it's often personal. If that's the case, why do we even ask, "How are you doing?" if we don't actually give an honest answer ourselves? It's become so common to greet people that way, I guess it's just a habit now. My challenge to you, start giving a more honest answer. I'm going to try that too. Now, you don't have to be completely forthcoming, but maybe try something a little closer to the truth. That's just my 2 cents. And your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
One of the men convicted in killing NBA All-Star Chris Paul's grandfather took the stand today in an innocence hearing.
The North Carolina Center on Actual Innocence says he and 3